Ahmad, thanks for joining the Carpool series with Soho. So nice to have you here.
Thank you, and I love the setup. I mean, this is brilliant.
Let's say I've just started on LinkedIn. I just kind of want to build a bit of a personal brand, get a bit of trust out there with a few people. What do I do? Where do I start? What kind of tips do you have?
So I started a little over 12 months ago, and I've built up quite a large following in that time. But more importantly, I've positioned myself as an authority in my industry as well. So I've built a personal brand that supports my business brand, which a lot of us are trying to do. But there are some practical things that I did which I think anyone can implement themselves. And that is connecting, engaging, and posting, and being very consistent with that.
Yep.
So when I started, I aimed to connect with 50 targeted people per day. I know it sounds like a lot, and it does require a little bit of a time commitment initially, but it's a great way to just build that momentum. So LinkedIn has great search functionality. So search for targeted people within your space, either your target audience or people, within your industry, and connect with them. Send them a personal message and actually connect with them. And if you do that consistently on a daily basis, you'll find that momentum starts to pick up, and people will then also connect with you.
Yeah.
The next thing is engaging. I would spend about 30 minutes per day just in my news feed, liking and commenting on other people's posts.
Yeah.
So showing that love, and obviously adding value, not just liking for the sake of it, but reading their content or watching their videos and actually adding value in a comment. And the law of reciprocity is a brilliant thing.
Sure, yeah.
When they see your content in your news feed, they're then bound to like it as well. And so engaging is a very, very large part of it. And the next thing is posting, putting a content strategy together. Yep. Posting consistently. We can't just post once every 6 months or even just once a month and expect that to do the job.
Yeah.
You need to be constantly in the newsfeed. And a way to remain constantly in the newsfeed is to post consistently and engage consistently.
Yeah.
And with that, people are going to see you on a newsfeed, likely to click on your profile, and that's the aim. You want people to get to your profile, stay on your profile as long as possible, read all about you in your summary, and eventually get in contact with you.
Hustle tip. What do you got for me?
A hustle tip.
A Carpool special hustle tip.
I love talking hustle. And an interesting thing about hustle, and the reason I started talking about it is I was chatting to my wife, and she's like, just naturally, everyone's got some natural skill sets, and I think your natural skill set is just you hustle.
Yep.
That's what you do. And I started to think about that, and I just started to think about the things that I naturally do, and realized that not everybody does that, or not everybody's really comfortable with it. So I just started talking about it and just putting out a few tips on LinkedIn. But hustle tip, I would say, learn to promote yourself.
Yep.
And this is especially so for us Australians, because in Australia we've got tall poppy syndrome. Everyone's afraid to talk about themselves or to sell themselves because they're afraid people are going to judge you or they're going to think you're arrogant. But the reality is, if we don't sell ourselves, if we don't put ourselves out there, we're not going to be visible. We're not going to increase sales for our business. Yeah. It just has to be done. But there's some easy ways to talk about yourself or to sell yourself without it feeling uncomfortable or awkward. All right. And there's 2 tips I can give you. Number 1 is, instead of just talking about yourself or selling yourself, share your story. Right. Everybody's got a story. It might be a story about how you're inspired to start your business, or it might be a story about an amazing case study with a client, some incredible results that you did.
Yeah.
That's talking about yourself. That's talking about your business, and that's selling yourself almost indirectly.
Yeah.
The other thing is, and this is a little bit cheeky, but ask for feedback. And this is a great way to sell yourself. So you can just simply, if you meet someone, you can say, look, I'd really value your feedback. Do you mind checking out my website, or checking out my LinkedIn profile, or checking out whatever it might be, this e-letter that I wrote, and just providing me feedback. And what they're doing is jumping on, obviously reading what you do, your about us, your services, your e-letter, some of the knowledge that you've shared, and then providing feedback on that, absorbing some of the information that you've given them. So learn to promote yourself. Very, very important hustle tip.